I'm Lee Townsend. You're currently at TPLR Honey Farms Limited, west of Edmonton in Stony Plain. We currently operate 3,300 colonies strictly for honey production, and all of our honey currently goes to the Japanese market. So as you can tell from looking from this hive, the bees are doing quite well once again this year. It's not an industry in decline, but one that is thriving, as evident by our numbers, colony numbers in this province. In 2006, everything really started to change for us because what we had been doing in the past, we had become complacent. We were dealing with new pests, new disease. The weather had almost kind of cycled where it had changed to being a much harsher winter. So you have years where you have beautiful winters, and then you have years of harsh winters, but now it's becoming more, it seems like the harsh winters are the consistent ones, and we weren't ready for that. It bit a lot of us in the butt, and that's why our hive numbers, I believe in this province, were 220,000 in 2006. Well, now we're pushing 300,000 in 8 years. So we've really done a good job in Alberta of kind of looking at ourselves in the mirror and realizing we had to change because the bees had, the weather had, everything else did. And it's worked out very well, and that's why Alberta is probably the most progressive province, well, it is the most progressive province in this industry, and one of the most progressive ones in North America. And today I'm just kind of looking through the home yard here to see how the hives are doing and see if they need new boxes and make sure everything's all right. So just give them a little bit of smoke to distract them and calm them before you open them up. And one of the nicest things you like to see when you open a hive at this time of year is it needs another box. So you can see there's a distinct difference between the male bee and the female bee. When I find a queen, you'll definitely notice there's a big difference between them. There's the queen right there. And you can see how much different she looks. Like she's similar to a worker, just longer in the abdomen. But you look at a drone and he's kind of fat, fuzzy. Okay. Last year we had 3,000 hives. We went through 3,000 queens. Oh. We requeened pretty much every hive we had. We found that the winter before was very difficult on them and they looked really beat up and just not what we accepted or wanted to accept. So we requeened every hive, but we actually had a very good honey production year because of it, all things considered. It was our second worst crop ever, but compared to what our neighbors had, it was far better. You put a new queen in a hive and it'll take off. So it was an expense last year and it was a lot of work to find every queen and replace them, but it paid off for us. This year so far I've gone through about 2,000 queens. So well, about 1,800, but there's about 200 in those 3 hives right there. You don't want to put a new queen in with an old queen because the hive will smell of the pheromone of the old queen. So those queens will either fight or the bees will kill the new queen, but she smells different. Okay. So what we do is we kill the old queen and immediately put a new queen in, and I'll show you what they come in. But we spritz them with a combination of water and essential oils to mask the smell of the new queen and the old hive, so they get used to the new smell together. And our success rate is very good with that. We're usually around 85 to 90% acceptance by doing it that way, whereas a lot of guys are happy with 50%. So, if you follow me, I'll show you what the queens look like and the queen banks. So there she is running around inside. And there's a little bit of candy there. It's icing sugar and honey combination. What the bees do, it takes them about 3 days to eat through that, and in that 3 days it gives them time to get accustomed to her smell. She gets out and they accept her. And that's why we spritz them with that essential oil water spray, is just to kind of give them that little bit of an extra head start on it. It's like any type of agriculture in any business. What changes or what you done last year, almost forget about it. Use that as a rough guideline, because every year it's different. And especially with bees, you go on what they need, not on what you want them to need. It used to be beekeeping was pretty simple. You did the same thing every year and you just progressed on from that. But you can't anymore, and there's a lot of times it's get really frustrating. Just like my father will die doing this, I'm pretty sure I will as well. It's in my blood, it's my passion, it's truly what I enjoy doing. When you're done honey harvest and the bees are done for the year, you don't want to see a hive for about 3-4 months. You're just tired of them. By February, March, you're really starting to get the itch to get back into them, and once you get back into them, you're back where you belong. It's hard work, it can be stressful at times, it can be challenging at times, but it is a very rewarding job.